This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
He made the wrestling world. Like in the 90s, he was one of the biggest figures.
Directing federal authorities to clarify whether college athletes can be considered employees of their school.
I will not be silent. I will not stop advocating for New Yorkers of faith.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Weather warnings. Half of Pennsylvania is under some kind of alert at this hour. It's a mix of heat advisories, but the more concerning alert from the National Weather Service, severe thunderstorm watches from Du Bois to Altoona to Scranton and Reading. Storms could have heavy rainfall, produce flash flooding and damaging wind gusts. Our news team is watching closely. Former Vice President Kamala Harris is giving her second major address this afternoon since losing the election in all 7 swing states to President Trump. She'll be speaking soon at the Voters of Tomorrow Summit in Washington, D.C. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi just spoke to Gen Z voters before Harris takes the stage.
The future, it belongs to you. A strong democracy for what happens into the future. Fairness in our economy. A lot of that is at risk in this next election.
Veteran Democratic strategist James Cargill summed up what his party needs now.
I don't care if it's a male or female, but I want somebody to talk in clear, definitive language and communicate with people in a simple, elegant way. And that's what the Democratic Party needs. I think the country wanted change in 2024. And Harris, for whatever reason, refused to say she would change the direction of Biden. I think that cost the election.
He says climate change, health care, and Social Security are all issues where the Democratic Party might be able to attract some support. President Trump is on his way to Scotland in what the White House says is a private 4-day trip. Trump plans to meet the First Minister of Scotland and sit down with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer as part of his first trip to the UK since his re-election. Just before boarding Air Force One, he expressed frustration over efforts to seal a peace deal in Gaza.
They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die.
The U.S. brought its team home from talks in Qatar. Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney has arrived at a courthouse in Tallahassee, where a Justice Department lawyer will question her for a second day over the unreleased files of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Everything she says can be corroborated, and she's telling the truth. She's got no reason to lie at this point, and she's going to keep telling the truth.
Maxwell serving a 20-year sentence as a co-conspirator to Epstein. John Yoo was an attorney for the government and explains why Donald Trump used his own attorney for questioning.
I think the reason you send someone like Blanche instead of an assistant U.S. attorney is because you want to show Maxwell that the government is serious about making some kind of deal. Maxwell's not going to say a single word. She has no incentive to say a single word unless she gets some kind of benefit.
People want to know what's in the unreleased Epstein files. Even 3 Republicans sided with Democrats, asking to have them released. Former Congressman George Santos began serving his federal prison sentence for wire fraud and identity theft today. The New York Republican was ousted from Congress in 2023. Trial attorney Michelle Thomas says the judge sent a strong message with the 7-year sentence.
Your fraudulent activity and behaviors can and will catch up to you, that you are not above the law in this instance. And I think he's serving notice to any other political candidates or hopefuls out there that you need to proceed with integrity.
Tributes are pouring in for the late Hulk Hogan, who passed away in Florida yesterday.
When I was younger, I certainly watched WWF, and he was that guy.
He made the wrestling world. Like in the 90s, he was one of the biggest figures. Like he represented that with The Rock and like The Undertaker.
Darren Prince was Hogan's longtime agent and friend.
And people like The Rock and, others that have been blessed to have incredible careers in film and TV, never would have happened if it wasn't for the Hulk Hogan era.
His son and former wrestler Joe Malenko tells News Channel 8 Hogan is a big reason wrestling is a worldwide business.
If you say anything bad about this guy, if you want to judge him at all, it's sour grapes. He He was a big part of making this business what it is today.
Police don't suspect foul play, but they have launched an investigation. And there could be some changes coming for college athletes. CBS's Steve Kathan.
President Trump has signed an executive order directing federal authorities to clarify whether college athletes can be considered employees of their schools. The move looks to set national standards in the NCAA's name, image, and likeness era.
Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, Jason McGuire responds to jail time. Josh Shapiro shares what happened during the firebombing at his home. And bobcats. There are bobcat sightings, lots of them in one New York county. Those stories after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. There'll be a shower thunderstorm in a few areas this evening. A couple of downpours in eastern Pennsylvania, locally isolated. And then overnight, it's partly cloudy. Areas of fog will form, low temp 60s. Tomorrow, lots of clouds, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in Pennsylvania and southwest New York. Some fading sunshine across the rest of New York, highs in the 80s. Variably cloudy Saturday night, Sunday, a few scattered showers and thundery downpours. High temperatures on Sunday in the 80s.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A warrior for Christian values in New York State has been sentenced to 8 weekends in the Livingston County Jail. Jason McGuire of New York Families was given the sentence following a settlement with Attorney General Tish James over a $1,300 clerical error. He issued this statement this afternoon.
Letitia James is a liberal activist masquerading as a law enforcement officer. She has repeatedly used her power to punish political opponents, whether it's pro-life pregnancy centers, faith-based ministries, or conservative leaders like me. Her actions in my case are part of a broader pattern of weaponizing government against people of faith and conscience.
McGuire says Tish James engaged in a multi-year witch hunt through his organization, and if they had opted to go to trial, it would have cost the ministry $750,000 for its defense.
I will serve these weekends in jail, but I will not be silent. I will not stop advocating for New Yorkers of faith. I will not stop opposing the culture of death and government overreach in our state. To those who sought to destroy me, know this: your lies will not prevail. The truth always does.
The New York Families Foundation is run by a board, and they are in full support of McGuire. Tish James has a history of taking faith-based groups to court. In 2024, she sued 11 crisis pregnancy centers. The court ruled against her, saying those centers do have the right to market and offer abortion pill reversals. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro made an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night.
My guest tonight is the current governor and former attorney general of the state of Pennsylvania. Please welcome to The Late Show, Governor Josh Shapiro.
The two exchanging a little playful back and forth.
Watch you every night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? What is it you know?
That sounded creepy. I didn't
a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry
exactly.
about that.
Well, speaking of creepy, and we'll get past this, but I really am curious.
Colbert asking Shapiro about the firebombing attack on the governor's mansion in April. Josh Shapiro opened by being grateful to be able to practice his Jewish faith in the United States of America.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah. I mean, look, it was first night Passover, and my wife Lori and I hosted a community Seder. We've been hosting Seders for a lot of years, but it's kind of amazing to do it as governor at the governor's residence in the greatest country on the face of the earth, where you can celebrate your faith openly and freely and free of persecution. It's true. We cherish that. We cherish that.
It was the first time Shapiro spoke about the emotions of getting his family out of the house.
We had kind of just drifted off to sleep around 1 a.m. when Pennsylvania State Trooper came running upstairs, banging on the door. Governor, First Lady, we've got to get out of the house now. And honestly, Steve, my thought immediately turned to like, okay, it's an accident. There must be something in the kitchen or whatever. We just got to make sure we got all the kids and the dogs out of the house. And we did. We found out, a few hours later, it was not an accident. It was a deliberate act of arson. Someone had scaled the wall, broke into the house with a metal hammer, threw a bunch of Molotov cocktails around to destroy part of the home, and with that hammer, He was trying to make his way through the house to find me.
Shapiro and his family got out safely. No one hurt. The man responsible for that attack is awaiting trial. Josh Shapiro said last night, for as dark as the moment was, he found a lot of light in the days after from the people of Pennsylvania. Now to New York. 2 labor unions have ratified a contract with the largest healthcare provider in Western New York, representing 8,000 healthcare workers. CWA and 1199 SEIU voted yesterday. It wards off a strike. WIVB's Mark Ludwisak.
It includes a 10% raise over 3 years, stronger staffing enforcement, and new pay incentives for long-term and third-shift workers. Now, the contract runs through 2028, avoiding a strike just hours before a vote.
Authorities in upstate New York are investigating after a fire was set at a church. Jeremy Miller has details.
Yes, Sarah, officials are not saying if that fire is being investigated as a hate crime. Police say an 8-foot cross was set on fire outside of the Crossroads Christian Fellowship in the city of Kingston. That's near the Hudson River, north of Poughkeepsie. Police say the flames did not impact the main church building, and they're still trying to figure out who set the fire and why. Jeremy Miller, Family Life News.
And there have been multiple reported sightings of bobcats in Tioga County within the last week. Bobcats are found all across New York State. They're opportunistic carnivores and will feed on prey from mice to deer. So it's important to keep your pets safe if you spot one. Wildlife biologist from the New York State DEC, Mandy Watson, shared some tips with WBNG for keeping pets safe.
Supervise pets when they're outside. So if you have dogs that you let out, especially smaller dogs, and especially around that nighttime, dusk and nighttime, supervising your pets when they go outside is important for their safety.
Bobcats often use rocky ledges and rock piles and brush piles and hollow trees for shelter and breeding and raising young. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Hi, I'm Rob West with your Faith and Finance Minute. I'm sure you recognize the words of Jesus from Luke 14. As he talked about the cost of being one of his disciples, he used a metaphor, starting a building project without the resources to see it through. You know, something like that happened just recently. A company constructing the world's largest cruise ship, priced at more than $1 billion, wasn't quite finished when the money ran out. Now the 9,000 passenger ship will be sold for scrap. Jesus' point, of course, was about the cost of following him. But don't miss the financial point, too. Counting the cost is crucial to following through and finishing well. Discover the best Christian financial articles, podcasts, and videos by visiting our website, faithfi.com, or by downloading FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store.
Coming up, what would you choose to do on your 105th birthday? How about braving Niagara Falls made of the mist? We got that story after one last look at weather.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. There'll be a shower thunderstorm in a few areas this evening. A couple of downpours in eastern Pennsylvania, locally isolated. And then overnight, it's partly cloudy. Areas of fog will form, low temp 60s. Tomorrow, lots of clouds, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in Pennsylvania and southwest New York. Some fading sunshine across the rest of New York, highs in the 80s. Variably cloudy Saturday night, Sunday, a few scattered showers and thundery downpours. High temperatures on Sunday in the 80s.
Okay, Kevin, finally at 5, a 105-year-old's birthday wish has been granted with a splash. The Maid of the Mist has been sailing the rapids of Niagara Falls for 130 years. But for Emily Balla, her wish for her 105th birthday was to go on the Maid for the first time. And the day before her birthday, that is exactly what she did. WIVB reporter Hope Winter caught up with Emily as she got off the boat.
What was it like on the boat?
Oh, very wet.
What was the view like?
The view was beautiful.
Emily's soaking up what's been in her backyard for all of these years.
Was it what you thought it would be?
No, I never expected to see the rainbow. I didn't expect to get wet either, but I did.
She really soaked it up. She just got a face full of water, and she didn't mind. She just loved the experience, and she was right on the bow of the maid, and to see that joy in anybody's face, let alone someone who's 105 years old, is really fulfilling.
Her recipe for a long life? Stay busy. And that's the world that we live in for Friday, the 25th of July. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.